Hello everyone, Andy Schwab here with your Farm and Ranch News. With the bull buying season pretty well behind us, Kurt Kangas from American Angus Association put together a detailed summary of this year's numbers. Overall, the bull price average was up 15% this year, with the Angus breed seeing also a 16% rise over year, and the Charolais cattle, they did the best by adding nearly 29% to their average. Altogether, buyers of the bulls from Wyoming and Montana spent a whopping $115 million on the bulls for their herds. Well, there was a fireworks show in the Senate Committee for Energy and Natural Resources last week. U.S. Department of Interior Secretary and her top officials were in front of the committee to answer questions from senators who are looking over the budget for the fiscal year 2025. U.S. Senator Steve Daines had concerns about the department's lack of effort to follow scientific facts that grizzly bears have reached recovery levels.
If the populations are greater than the recovery target, would you conclude the grizzly bears have now recovered?
Senator, unfortunately, I am not a scientist, so I refrain from.
You are the Secretary of Interior.
Indeed.
With complete respect.
Indeed.
You're in line of succession to the presidency of the United States.
I appreciate that, but
you are the Secretary of Interior. So if the target is 500 and the actual number is 965, nearly twice the target, have we recovered?
Senator, I'm happy to ask the scientists when I get back to the Department of the Interior. I am not a scientist. I don't want to speculate what the science would say to your answer.
The science tells us we're well over the targets.
Now, Holland also refused to answer when the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service was going to publish their findings from their 12-month grizzly bear review that began 15 months ago. We need to take a break, but we'll be back in a short bit to look over your ag markets.
I represent a lot of what ranchers' wives are, where they marry into the family. Coming into established ranch, the expectations of that is just absolutely overwhelming. You know, there's always stress with all families, but when you're not dealing with the stress outwardly, it will definitely impact everyone inwardly. You may feel alone, but you're not alone.
Welcome back, friends, to your Ag News and your markets. I'm Andy Schwab. The USDA's Food and Safety Inspection Service announced results last week from testing 30 samples of ground beef, with results showing they were all negative for that H5N1. USDA's FSIS said it collected the samples from states with dairy cattle herds that had tested positive for that H5N1 influenza virus at the time of the sample collection. USDA noted the samples were analyzed by their APHIS department using polymerase chain reaction, or PCR, to indicate whether any viral particles were present. No virus particles were found to be present, reaffirming U.S. ground beef is safe. In addition, the USDA's Ag Research Service will be conducting the beef cooking study, and that's going to be using a virus surrogate in the ground beef and cooking it at different temperatures to determine log reductions of the virus. Now, those results will be posted as soon as they become available. And cattle futures lost anywhere from $2 to $5 last week after traders prepared for a potential black swan crisis. Luckily, that USDA good news allowed for the positive thoughts and could help bring the markets back to their elevated levels this week. On the weekly BLS cattle sale last week, head count seemed to favor the steers, who saw prices easily holding above that $2,000 per head price. And opening stock cows also had no problem finding their bids around the $1,800 a head themselves. Newell sheep yards found a decent test, that is, for sheep last week, with unfortunately didn't seem to gain the traction many were hoping for. Coal use slipped back to that 50 to 60 cents a pound kind of money. And riding on the back of the previous week's short covering rally, there were still a few weather concerns in wheat to help push their contracts to a late week rally. Unfortunately, though, the complex still ended just shy of those 2024 highs set at the end of April. Well, there's a look at your ag markets and news. I'm Andy Schwab. Have a great rest of your day.